starting again with Mr. Jones.
Okay, Mr. Jones, what is one of the things you would like to see changed at Randall, and how would you go about making that change?
One of the things I guess I'd like to see change at Randall is more communication. Communication between the teachers and the administration, between the administration and the board, between the teachers and the board. You know, everybody's in it together, and we all need to communicate together. You know, the teachers need to feel comfortable with going to the administration and the board, voicing your concerns or, you know, questions, or, hey, this is an idea we have, you know, and everybody should be able to listen and take into that account and say, hey, you know, maybe we can do something different, maybe we can't, but, you know, this is the reason we will do it, or this is the reason we won't do it. Communication is the big key, you know, and just having a functional board and being able to communicate between the board members themselves to come to a decision, you know, in a timely manner, and making the best decision possible.
Mrs. Martinson, what is one of the things you would like to see changed at Randall, and how would you go about making that change?
Well, in my opinion, technology is a vital component to the education system. I would never propose that we would make a U-turn and drive off a cliff and go headstrong into technological advances that we can't afford. However, I think that evaluating the current policy on the technology for the school, determining where we stand as a school, where we're headed, what we feel, what the teachers feel, make the most sense for where the money goes, is of utmost importance. There's a lot of technological equipment out there that we could utilize, that the teachers and the students could utilize given the chance. However, pulling that back, any advances at all need to be implemented in a safe, economical way. I think that the teachers should be conferenced on this. We should ask, what would you like? What would make sense for you? What could improve your teaching environment? What do you think would help the students? Get opinions and feedback and decide as a team in the direction that we need to go. Not just the board, not just the administration, not just the teachers, not just the community. We're all a team together, in this together, to do what's best for our students, to create the best educational environment that we can. And by doing that, we have to know what works. And the best way to find out what works is to ask the teachers. The teachers are the ones who are here every day doing the work, working with the students. They know how the students respond, what motivates the students better. Is it the smart boards? Is it an iPad or whatever the new advances are? What is it that's going to get the students more involved and make the teachers' jobs easier? I'm timed out, so that's what I think.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Nolan, what is one of the things you would like to see changed at Randall, and how would you go about making that change?
How would I go? Okay, the thing I'd like to see change is the environment. Get the environment back to where it was a couple of years ago. I've only attended a couple of board meetings since I left the board in April, and I'm amazed at what I saw. These are things that we fought hard to reconcile and create a positive working environment where we had staff that talked with administration, staff that talked when the administration talked with the board, there was a chain of command, and everyone was in the loop, and we really made some strides together to pull the school together and make everyone in a positive atmosphere. Communication, as you'll get tell by everyone here, is the #1 underlying tone. But how do we get back to that? We have to take control and get this environment back. Everyone sees it, whether you want to believe it or not. Students see it from their teachers, parents see it from teachers. And if you're sitting in the audience, you can see it. We've got to get that back positive. That would be the #1 thing. I'd love to get the environment back to where it was.
And Mr. Zender, what is one of the things you would like to see changed at Randall, and how would you go about making that change?
I think a lot of us sitting up here have a similar idea. The things that I had notes about were, again, communication. Over the years that I've come to teacher-parent conferences, I've had feedback from the teachers to say, we kind of don't understand. We agree with what your questions are, but this is coming up from higher up, and this is our policy, and this is what we're told to work with. I would think after teacher-parent conferences, there could be meetings between the teachers and the board to express the community's views, because a lot of the general public doesn't always participate in board meetings and see them. I've been coming to a few in the last few months to evaluate and see what's going on, and there's very few public members of our community at the board meetings. I think it would be a way to get the public's input via the parents to the teachers to the board, simply from the feedback from the teachers to the board after parent-teacher conferences. The other thing I think would be good is an evaluation from past students of our school to communicate with freshmen and sophomore who are in high schools to say, you were educated, now you're in a different environment. What's your feedback for our school? Were you prepared for what you came into the next school with from Randall? What's lacking? What do we need to improve on? The kids who have graduated from here are truly the best input that we can get to change our perspective on how we educate our kids here. So we could ask for participation and evaluate some of the students that we know and have some feedback that would be willing to talk to the parents and the board and get input from that perspective. It would be very helpful to our school.